And I wasn't going to just, jump in the shower and shave my legs just so that I didn't have any stubble for the woman because, I usually go spur the moment. And I'm sure that there are times that I've been a little stubbly. And I was just wondering, is this something that is common or am I just gross? Well, apparently I'm just gross because I asked the ladies, do you make sure your legs are shaved before getting a pedicure? Diane says, LOL, yes. Okay, I guess that makes me feel gross. LOL, laughing? Well, okay, I did it, so I guess I'm being laughed at. I did. I don't know. I guess I'm gross. Nancy says, usually, but sometimes I just wish they'd shave them for me. I like that. Marcy, again, oh my God, yes. Okay. Sam says, I don't. My philosophy is that they do men, so they can't be too grossed out by my little stubble. I agree with, excuse me. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Love it. Sounds totally reasonable to me. Marianne says, I forgot once to shave and was so embarrassed. It was wintertime. I never did it again. Melissa says, almost always, unless it's a surprise pedicure. And I always shave the day before the pedicure, not the day up, because they say it can be dangerous. Somebody had mentioned that on here. Let me look for it. Yes, but I heard you were not supposed to go right before you go on the same day. So it was too late for me anyway. Michelle says, I try to shave beforehand, but I don't worry too much if I have it because they wear gloves. Lorraine says, unfortunately, no. And I wrote back to Lorraine, good, I'm going in a half hour, and my legs aren't looking good. After a bunch of yeses, of course, yes, another, oh my God, yes, absolutely. Lorraine had written again, Wendy, we seem to be in the minority. Wrote, yeah, I noticed that too. I'm not even going to tally up the votes because, it's a landslide that people make sure that they shave before they go to get a pedicure. I did not. She seemed to be okay with it. She didn't make any comments. She didn't seem grossed out. In fact, she probably was more grossed out about how long my toenails were. It had been quite a long time since I had gotten a pedicure, and those bad boys were really grown out. I think it might have been around Easter. So that's the end of April. Well, it's less than 2 months, right? April, May. Yeah. Well, probably going on about 2 months. Yeah, that's a long time for the summer. For the summer is a long time. Not so much for the winter, but I got nice, beautiful toes right now. I'm so excited about them and the fact that they're called I Only Lobster. I might just post a picture of them to the Facebook group page. So be on the lookout for that. My toes aren't so bad. I think my toes are pretty nice looking. I got some rings on my toes. They make them pretty them up a little bit more. All right. I'm sorry. I complained and moaned the entire first half of the show, but this was to point out the fact that everybody has bad days. Even the hopefulist has bad days. You know what you got to do? You got to keep on keeping on. If you can find something to do that's going to cheer you up like I did, get a pedicure, maybe have a beer. I had contemplated having a beer. We typically don't drink during the week. Even Joe said he had a little bit of a bad day. He texted me when he was still at work saying, I may need a beer when I get home. And I was like, oh my God, me too. So I waited for him. And then by the time he got home, I was over it. I was like, I'm not going to have a beer now. And he didn't have one either. So we are working through our problems without running to alcohol, choosing to go to alcohol. So everybody has bad days. You got to just roll with it. If you can do something that's going to be extra special for you at the end of the bad day, that's fine. And then wipe it clear from your mind. Remember, at the end of the day, writing your gratitude journal, it's going to keep your mind focused on the positive that happened that day instead of the negative. Or if you want to do it like me, I do it first thing in the morning. I focused on the positive instead of the negative. And I still had quite a few things on my my gratitude list for today. Speaking of things that happened yesterday. So to my blog post, it's mindfulness today, behaviors to adopt. When is the last time you just stopped and took in your surroundings? Just looked around right where you were, and took it all in. Has it been a while? Probably. Where are you right now? Stop for just a moment and take in your surroundings. I'll give you a moment. Find something beautiful to focus on and just enjoy the moment. Are you driving to work? I know there's no sunrise here today at the Jersey Shore. Look at the flowers. Look at the cool trees. Look at something. Don't look at the road rage person in front of you. Take in the scene maybe at your home. I'm sure you put a lot of time and effort into decorating your house. Look at it. Appreciate it. Take it in. This is something I do pretty often at home because I just, our home is still fairly new. We've had about 2.5 years that we've lived here now, and it's ours. I mean, it's really the bank's, but, I get to put down that I own on those little, forms that you fill out. So I often just look around my own house and be like, you know what? This house is awesome. Because you know what? I'm a great decorator. If I don't say so myself. So if you don't have things in your home that you love, if you don't, haven't made your home beautiful to your liking, what are you waiting for? Get moving on that decor. It is where you spend the most of your time. Make sure you love the things that you see every day. Yesterday's podcast, I was talking about sitting on my porch with my coffee early in the morning. It was the perfect morning. The weather was cool but not cold. I could hear the morning doves, the seagulls, the ducks, even the fish were jumping. It was an amazing pink sky as the sun was coming up. It was peaceful. It was beautiful. It was the main reason I moved full-time to the Jersey Shore. If you can put yourself in a place that you will be appreciative and mindful of your surroundings every day, do it. I'm so much more mindful of my surroundings here at the Jersey Shore than when I was living in a condo and out my windows all I saw was a busy road and a parking lot. You not only have to take time to discover and enjoy these moments, you need to savor them. Be present in the moment. Take just a minute on your way to work to enjoy the scenery. Like I said, it was always dark when I left for work in the morning, and I would make sure to look up and see the moon and all the stars if they were available to see. And it's such an amazing sight. The moon and the stars, it's one of those wonders. And it's always just such an awesome sight to see. And all you have to do is look up. Just look up. It's that simple. Which goes to the quote that I had put up for today. Sharon Salzberg. Mindfulness isn't difficult. We just need to remember to do it. It seems so hard at times, doesn't it? We're just, racing through life. We have to remember to do it. Life is going by so fast. We have to stop and enjoy, or we're going to miss it. That's just like from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? One summer I rented a shore house with a bunch of my friends. I remember being very specific about how I spent my time there. I was usually the first one there on Fridays. I would jump in my bathing suit, grab a beer, and sit on the deck that overlooked the bay to soak up that sun. Sometimes would listen to music. Sometimes I would just sit and take in the sounds of the shore. Now, I was usually the first one up in the morning. I would do the same then as well. But yes, it was coffee I had then, not a beer. I don't wake up with a beer. I do remember being very conscious to savor each moment I could that summer. And I did. I really did. Now, when the rental ended at the end of September, I wasn't as depressed as I normally was, since I know that I truly made the most of my time there while I had it. Don't get me wrong. I was still sad that the shore house was ending, but I just felt like I had made the most of the time that I knew I had there. This is what we need to do with most things in our life, especially the things we love. Be mindful. Stop taking the special moments of your life for granted. Take it all in. I remember somebody gave a piece of advice to somebody getting married recently, and I wish this was something that Joe and I would have done. At one point, stand in the back of the room and just take everything in. Watch everybody enjoying themselves, chatting, dancing, having a good time. Yeah, that would have been really nice, and that's something you would probably remember for the rest of your lives. So we need to do this with everything. Our meals, our beverages, time with the kids, even the fur kids, a movie, a concert. I do this a lot with Tucker. I've talked about it before. Tucker's going to be 13 in 2 months. Starting to worry about my little girl and how long she's going to be with me. So I make sure to cherish my time with her. She wants a belly rub, I give her a belly rub. I don't always give her the W when she wants to go for a W because I'm lazy. But I've been doing it. Well, not more often, but I'm going to get back into it. I promise. Because she's so happy. She's running down the street. Her ears are flying back. Stops to sniff something. Starts running again. Ears are flying back. She's so darn cute. Little cutie punkster, that is. She's my little cutie Punky Brewster. So savor it all. Our drive to and from work, the time we get to spend with friends, savor it. It's the little things in life that makes it so great. So make sure to enjoy them as much as possible. Remember to be mindful. Another quick story. I used to have a pretty short ride to work every day. I had this adorable, one of my favorite cars, bright red Toyota Celica. Man, I loved that car. Got into an accident and totaled that baby. But man, I love that car. This car had a sunroof. And I did love the sunroof. But I remember thinking it wasn't worth it to open it for just the 10-minute ride to and from work. But since I loved it so much, one day it just kind of struck me. I'm like, okay, it takes 1 second to hit the open button and another second to close it. So I finally told myself I was being lazy and stupid. Yes, I called myself names. That is breaking my number one rule, so I still do it from time to time. Don't do it. But of course, I should be opening the sunroof on the way to work and the way home. Now I no longer have a sunroof. So aren't I happy that I finally did start using it as often as I possibly could? It's so simple. Just make the time for it. Enjoy it. One day you might not have it. My goal is to get a sunroof again. My last 2 cars have not had a sunroof. Man, I miss them. I remember somebody saying, you keep in mind when you're shopping for a car, things like a sunroof, you'll never use those. I'm like, oh, yeah, I use mine all the time. Loved it. So it's simple, but not always easy. And that is my new mantra. I spoke of that earlier this week. We know what we have to do. We just have to make ourselves do it. This is a hard one because we are always on autopilot. But remind yourself to stop and smell the roses. It's the people who take the time to notice the things they love that love their life. Yep. That's simple. Not always easy to remember, but give it a go. Take a little time today and just savor something you love. Try to savor as much as you can. Try to be in the moment as much as you can. Be it something you're eating, looking at, smelling, listening to. I bet you will remember that moment for a lot longer than in the past because you stopped to savor it. That's what we need to do. Savor the moments. It is a wish. I wish it were a Cocktail Friday, Thursday. If you would like to check out my written blog, you can find that at instyle222.wordpress.com. My website will be up very, very soon. Very, very excited about that. So thank you for listening. It is I wish it were Cocktail Friday, Thursday. Like I said, I think I just repeated myself. Go have your best day yet. It is almost the weekend, people. Woo woo!
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
I feel I was a little off my game today, so if you're still listening, thanks for struggling through with me. Much appreciated.